During the training.
So our Charles Taylor of Liberia.
Charles Taylor was preparing to go to Liberia.
So
when he left and went, at that time we were in the camp. But by then he had already left with his people.
So and
he had already gone with some Gambians.
Like who?
General Jackson.
People like General Jackson.
What's his Gambian name?
Gambian Todum.
Jerekoli.
Yes,
Mustafa Macaroni.
And Mustafa Macaroni.
Mustafa Macaroni, what's his Gambian name?
Gambian Todum.
Mustafa Atom Mustafa Mustafa Akondong for Mustafa for Mustafa Jibara.
Well, I cannot remember exactly his surname, but it might be Jiba.
Who else?
Aninjuma.
Mustafa, did he also become a general?
For Mustafa Varanara general Otilaba.
Yes, later on.
So I name Mustafa Jallo.
And somebody also called Mustafa Jallo. But his real surname is not Jallo. His surname, real surname is Sanyang. He is from Ndemban.
So Domingo.
Somebody
Domingo
called
or Domingo?
Domingo.
But we to sort very Kukoi Kavajara Kudera failed a word Guinea Bissau.
He got that name during the time when Kukoi wanted to coup the Jawara government. After its failure, they ran and went to Guinea Bissau.
So I that's where he got that name. But
his real name is Mamadou Cissé and he's from Nyomi.
All right. So Charles Taylor has gone to Liberia. That must have been in '89.
Charles Taylor
together with
Liberia.
Gambians.
As a Ken over 1989, nani in Gambia doing.
So bring the brother Liberia 89.
When he went to Liberia in 1989.
So 91.
In 91.
So Kukoi Narandol Sam Bonanja in Samba.
And that's the time when Kukoi came back for us and took us along.
Why did you have to go with Kukoi?
Mune asabu ini Kukoi taranyola.
Well, what I sem at a sembo sort of live and Dolman Council because Sembo Baraba and Kadafi and Yolong, I sembo on the war on Dolbe Campo and the Fambon.
In those days, he was acquainted with Gaddafi and he was powerful. And in those days, we were poor and, well, we had no means. We were just in the camp like that.
Would your understanding of the situation be that you guys were trained elements to be used in Gambia and Kukoi was your leader?
Ila faamuro nyine dila ko atul yal tala yal karandi kake molti mi yalon ko be nafa lalla ya bondi Libya kal nati Gambia jang Kukoi taral ko makar ale purale na boy kangola jang Kukoi taral ko.
You've gone a bit further than I have suggested.
Okay.
They were trained elements to be used later in the Gambia under the leadership of Kukoi Sambasa.
Ko yal karandile o karandro nyin kola yenane binane munafanalla buru Gambia kama.
With Kukoi as their leader.
Kukoi la mal la nyaron kodi atara bal koma.
Yes.
Good. So in 1991
song
Kukoi came to Libya and decided to take you with him, right?
Natan Libya and
to remove you from there.
Another nanying kango soto kango ta ko purkal bondi je al bondi Libya.
Naram bondi Libya.
Yes, he took us out of Libya.
Where did he take you?
Al samba mindole.
Go nga fo nakuma kongo waro ni rebel wo ko be hewre Africa kono bag.
Just as I said before, in those days there were many rebel wars in Africa.
So you contact also in Algeria.
They had contact with Algerians.
So waro ika contact also it will damal ka contact also bankol ka contact also damal tema.
In those days, they used to have contacts with countries, between them and certain countries. Before you go into any country, the president, the sitting president in that country will be made aware of it before you enter that country. Whether you are coming by air or whether you are coming by land, wherever you are supposed to go, any country that you are supposed to enter, the president will be aware, and the person who is supposed to receive you people will also be alerted.
So
So we were made to board a plane in Libya at their main airport.
In
those days, if you are supposed to board a plane and leave Libya, and if you are an ordinary civilian, leave that country was very, very tedious in those days.
Even foreign currency,
because in those days, they don't want anybody to go out with any foreign currency.
So foreign currency
Well, there were some people, they had means how to take out foreign currency in those days.
Yeah, for a money back.
If they tell you, it's sometimes very, very difficult. Something like your own money that you have sweated for, to take it out of that country in those days was not a joke.
So, but
when we were going out,
it
those looked like we were diplomats.
So a plane was
brought until to the point where we were supposed to board, and we were not even searched.
No, Algeria.
This is how we boarded the plane, and we were taken to Algeria.
Algeria,
in those days, the government which was in Algeria was aware of our coming to the country.
So,
even before we disembarked from the plane, the person who was supposed to receive us at the airport, we found him there. He had already arrived. Now, who was there? Because the person who was at the airport at that time was not informed about us, because just about the intelligence matter that I said. Because some governments do not like their affairs to be known by certain people.
So
when we disembarked,
so we were
taken into a hall,
so
and made to spend the night there, but we didn't even have dinner.
How many of you?
We were a little bit many. I was there.
Kabiro
Dembajang,
Vlai
Sonko,
Suwandi Kamara,
Emo Jallo,
Buba
Jallo,
Bamba Drame,
but he is called Wadrame. These are the people I can remember.
Bakai
Drame,
and
we were some of the people at the airport that time.
Okay.
So during
when we disembarked, that morning, the person who was giving our information, when he came, when he saw us, he didn't talk to anybody. He knew that we were the people.
So
when he arrived and saw us, he said, come. He said that in Arabic, like Tala, come.
So
when we came, he took us to a hotel. He gave us breakfast. He gave us everything.
So another duladena.
And then later on we were taken to a place inside the hotel there where we were supposed to stay before the arrival of another plane which was supposed to take us away from there.
So
we were there, we had lunch, we had dinner there. Immediately after dinner, another plane arrived. When it came, we boarded that plane again. So we were taken directly to Burkina Faso.
So
when we were arriving at Burkina, it was late at night. We disembarked at Burkina Faso at the airport. When we arrived there too, people, the road that people usually take and the road that we took, they were different. Well, what happens is, wherever we go, the normal route that normal passengers are taken by is always different from the route that they take us through.
You were given priority, correct?
Amunda altola ko ya manlingi
ya
sone andal tolien.
Ya sone because wato dakoro be damal ko menol damal ngaji mbangol mengang.
Yes, things were made easy for us because these governments and these countries that we were supposed to go to, they were hearing from one another. They were in communication. All those countries that we went through, they all knew about Charles Taylor. Because before any country that he passes through, they were all supporting him. If they don't support him, we wouldn't have gone through their country. The reason for us to go through their country is they were supporting him. This is why we go through these countries without encountering any problem.
So when we reached
Burkina,
so many received water.
The people who received us at Burkina, we didn't have any problems there.
So presidential motor.
And in fact, we met presidential vehicles standing and waiting for us.
So
we boarded those vehicles.
So
they looked for a place for us. They called the place Moro Naba.
So
they took us to a compound in that place.
So
our feeding, lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
So
Kukoi was responsible for it. He knew where he was getting it from. But the government was also aware of our being there. Because time to time they send in soldiers who will come and check on us so that we will not have any problems. We were there like that
for almost
up to maybe 1 month.
So by
the end of that 1 month,
Liberia.
By that time, Charles Taylor has come from Liberia.
Burkina
He came to Burkina Faso.
So
when he came there, he was there.
So
and then we were informed to accompany him. They said yes, he should take us along.
So
but before that,
so
we were made to board a train before we boarded that plane.
Ivory Coast.
So that we will go to Ivory Coast.
So but another mistake of those
on the way we had a mistake or a problem on the way. When we reached the border,
Burkina Faso Ivory Coast border.
From Burkina Faso to the border of Ivory Coast.
So
the way that they should have communicated to each other.
So communication
there was a breakdown of communication at the time we arrived. They said we cannot go into Ivory Coast, then we had to turn back. This is how they brought us back again. We went back to Burkina.
So manna tambe tele dandandro.
Just a few days after that,
So Charles Taylor
came.
By Bukinala plane or Samba.
Because he's always carried by a plane belonging to the Burkina government.
So Bira.
When he was going,
so Kukoi Kai Samba.
Kukoi told him that take these people along.
At this stage, have you met Kukoi?
What for watola? For in Kukoi nyo jeleba?
Warunde nga Kukoi jele.
Yes, because by that time I had already seen Kukoi.
Warunde ka nga Kukoi je kabiri Libya fokana fo Burkina.
I saw Kukoi since in Libya all the way up to Burkina.
Is he known by any other name in his business out there?
Kukoi, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Kukoi for ya lon to dola la bang ala du ko be kono ba.
Ha ka fa Dr. Samba Sanyang.
Yes, he's also known as Dr. Samba Sanyang.
How about does he have another name apart from Dr. Samba Sanyang?
Ninga boda Dr. Samba Sanyang na photo do ko tambala la bang.
Just his Kukoi name, that's what I know.
Do you know a person called Dr. Mane?
Dr. Mane.
Yes, I forgot. He's also known as Dr. Mane. Yes, they call him by that name also.
Has he ever asked you whether, has he ever asked for your consent to participate in this enterprise that you were about to embark upon?
For another case in the bank, Yininka, for ila dunyo bejele bang, purke dabula nyunko roba, nyindo ko nyintoba. For another case Yininka laba, fa kunde dunyo roba.
Nyinko, akata force ro ko.
Well, this thing was just like a force on us.
So, because very not training, I mean, in the Araja go, but akata force ro ko, but another for Magoi.
Yes, after our training, we were made to join them, just like in a force. But later on, it helped me.
But another Londi Fenam, Nanamamira, Nabalo, Bandanamamira, Ndalamol found Nanamansico, in the way Sojaria Karana, Walambe, intelligent Karan, Telamol found Nanamansi, Yo Mirela Balo found.
Because my people, they do not even imagine somebody like me will become a trained soldier up to the level of becoming an intelligence officer. My people never even thought about that. But after the training and I had the experience,
so from
the level of a soldier up to the level of an intelligence officer, yes, Allah helped me to have something in those areas.
So you ultimately you boarded that plane and went to Liberia.
Amunda ko nyi nyala bang al nar na bulaw kuluntila la altara Liberia bankoka.
Yes, when we boarded that plane in Burkina Faso, he didn't go to Liberia directly. We landed at Ivory Coast. The place is called Ma. Because it was their president was Houphouët Boigny. So I can say he was the right-hand man of Charles Taylor.
Because the support
because the support we were receiving and anything that comes to us all comes through Ivory Coast.
So when
we landed there,
so in presidential vehicle Charles Taylor found a vehicle and Ivory Coast la soldier role.
So Charles Taylor's own vehicles, presidential vehicles, and vehicles belonging to soldiers in Ivory Coast.
So
we boarded those vehicles.
So by the Charles Taylor escort, soldier role escort for because
when Charles Taylor goes there, he is always escorted by Ivory Coast soldiers up to the point of entering Liberia.
Because he can't airport, but the airport
but because they wait for him at the airport. But the airport at Ma is not an airport whereby all planes can land there.
So secret
it looks like a secret airport.
So osifa la kalani because mole bala ko kala.
They don't like people to be aware of what's happening there. So planes land there mostly in secret.
So
that's how we went through and went into Liberia.
Where were you taken to first in Liberia?
Yal samba mindola wati follow in Liberia.
Liberia.
When we entered Liberia, we went to Lukato.
First border.
That's the first border.
So Yakuba Samate try.
We met Yankuba Samate there.
Yankuba
Samate by Kaba Yanks.
Yankuba Samate, what they called him as Yanks.
Yanks, ha.
Proceed, please.
We met him there.
So another time pick up all
he took us on board a pickup late in the evening.
I samba Banga.
He took us to Banga.
Charles Taylor City.
That's Charles Taylor's city.
So
Banga.
Banga.
Proceed, please.
So Ndarraje.
We were there.
Birimbe was Bangaje.
When we were at Banga.
So when
it is in terms of food, because in Liberia they eat only once in a day, only lunch. Breakfast is not much known, but they have facilities. Because they are very well endowed. Whatever people need in other countries, they have a lot of it.
Let's cut this a little short. You are ultimately integrated into the NPFL.
NPFL.
Yes.
And you fought in Liberia for Charles Taylor.
Liberia, Charles Taylor Toyala.
Yes.
And in 1996, you decided to leave Liberia, correct?
Liberia. Tonya?
Yes.
Why did you want to leave?
The reason for having that idea
was
it was Kukoi who took us out from there.
So I am Senegal.
He brought us to Senegal.
Because idea
the reason for that, he later had that Yaya Jammeh has toppled the then government in the country.
So another bonding Liberia.
And he took us out of Liberia
and
brought us into Senegal.
So the mission of Purukana Senegal.
Our mission for coming to Senegal was to come and topple Yaya Jammeh's government. But before reaching that point, because when we were in Liberia,
1994.
We heard that there was a coup in 1994.
So that decided
Then we decided that we don't like the idea of a coup.
So when
we were there, we were taken to a place called Kari.
After another samba
we are talking to another camp, which the camp's name I cannot remember. Because when we were in Liberia,
so
we were divided. Because it was it's a big country. Some were taken to this other side, so others were taken to other sides. I ended up at Lukato.
Then in Farmer Koli.
Myself and Farmer Koli.
And Baba Job Doma Kafa Sirif Bajob.
And Baba Job's younger brother called Sirif Bajob.
Then all Lavanda Lucato.
We were the people who lasted at Lucato.
Bawaro Kelora Charles Taylor Waroman.
But when we were fighting for Charles Taylor, because me alone, the amount of people I lead were up to 1,500 people.
What was your rank?
Captain.
I was a captain by then.
Proceed, please.
So,
I used to be with them in the bush.
Up
to 3 months. But
But
around that time, among those 1,500 people,
so I
can say in that group I was the only Gambian there.
So
because in those days I was the only person also who can lead that group.
Special forces.
Because we were special forces.
In which language were you speaking with them?
So Manda school or
I didn't go to formal school, but when I went there,
so I'm broken English.
They are broken English.
So I
tried and delved into that until I was able to say something.
So
that helped me. Like English, the English language. It went up to a time, up to a level whereby I listen to the BBC and I understand their news. I've never been to school.
So
really, that was a big help for me.
So
that's the language I use with them.
But
they have their own indigenous languages.
So within
those people, I chose some bodyguards.
So but my
bodyguards there were all female. Because the males, I don't trust them.
So
there were 18 women.
So
they were my bodyguards.
Liberia was nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
Liberia was a nice place.
Because domoro karo comme ça im dama fefe fen domoro karo subol tem fen ko ton bananol ananasol fen ko be ala ne mare mala jia canal don itol buka sama soro waro men na dama si adal.
Because in those days in Liberia,
because han santen ni be December sama ikasoro domande.
Allah has really helped them. You have a lot of food, bananas, especially fruits, bananas, ananas and other things. They were plentiful in Liberia in those days, meat and everything. You can eat anything that you want.
You were a chief in your own fiefdom.
Yes, because comme ça mbesi rente nyamen mbesi ro nyama na bori karo garra loren dandang ole ni kido.
Yes, because just as I am sitting here, my bodyguards will be standing around me with arms, and they used to guard me like that.
So
but that's how I was living there. But I had a wife there. She's always at home, but she's also a civilian. I was there with her.
So
whenever I come from the bush,
so
I leave my soldiers there. I come with my bodyguards to the home. I'll spend some days at home and then later go back into the bush.
What was your Liberian name?
Yeah, Liberian Todu.
Some of them call me Nelson Ghana, but many of them also call me Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
Because the
reason why I acquired that name, Nelson Mandela, because of the difficulties I encountered during the training and in the bush. This is why they gave me that name.
Okay, so now let's move on to the period you now had to leave Liberia for the first time.
Ngabu fanala for what I not a favorite of what me along ko in Liberia sinya follow.
Okay, bring Darra Lucatoji.
When we were at Lukato,
So Darra Kelolaji.
we were fighting.
So Atara for starting how the time of Mango, Ecomo Kelobulo will end in Charles Telogam.
Up to the time when ECOMOG decided to attack Charles Taylor's forces.
So Waron Devil Lucaro, Bawaro, Nimen Lucaro, Walam Sirvajo, and Infamaro Coli.
At that time, I was at Lukato with Sirif Bajob and Famarakoli.
So Waro, Walam border, many border and Kadamando use Nakidolu, Kesolu, Domoro, everything big at Tambani.
Because that was the main border where our arms, ammunition, food, it all passes through that border. When things come into Ivory Coast, they pass through, all of those things pass through that border.
So this
is why if you ask Hufet Buanyi,
where would we ask him? Proceed, please.
If you ask him when Charles Taylor was going in, where did he pass through? He will say that I haven't seen him today, I haven't seen him tomorrow. Because if the drummer steps on top of the drumming stick, nobody will beat that drum. Because he was aware of everything, because at that time he had a problem with Samuel Doe. Because Samuel Doe promised to topple him. Samuel Doe used to tell Fufe Buanyi that I will topple your government. And Fufe Buanyi told him that you are a small boy, it's just now that you sat on this chair. And where Samuel Doe said, the day that I'm going to topple you.
Buanyi told Doe.
It will soon be time for me to topple you. I'll come and drink water in your palace. So this is why when Charles Taylor came out from Rawlings' support,
Thomas Sankara,
up to before Blaise toppled Sankara, and after Sankara, when Blaise took over, he also continued to support Charles Taylor. And plus Houphouët Boigny and the Algerian president.
I support sort of Bangu Jamal Europe.
Even in Europe, he had support from many countries.
Like Italy. Businessman member.
Yes, it is quite interesting and very fascinating, but we have to move forward. Yes. So tell us why you had to leave Liberia for the first time. I know, Mr. Chair, this is quite interesting. History and West African politics, but we have to move on to the issues.
Comme vola nyindi go e be mem fanna men sata kantenga fanna me alan ko nyabo warta bakel anno akumaya bada bur moyela moyela kadum tariku anim politiko la karola bere ata je bak but hanin kabi sila ngata wato men bora Liberia.
And Mr. Chair, I also want to avoid too much this particular topic because of my present situation in the other hat that I wear, so I do not want any issue of conflict to come in. It is unlikely, but I just have to stay away from this topic. Proceed, please, and tell us how the decision was made for you to come to Gambia and what was your purpose for coming.